Hello and welcome to BeamNG Drive. I'm davidinark. Welcome back to the Crash Hard Cliff Diving Competition. That's a mouthful. We've got the Moonhawk edition here. The Dragster starting things off with an early lead as the Track edition close behind. And we've got the Big Block V8 pulling up things in third place. The Detective Special decidedly leaning to the right, but still in it. No problems there. The Dragster just continues to pull away, hits a hard landing, spins out of control, manages to regain control just in time to fly off the track as the Track edition flies overhead. This has been a crazy competition. Dragster is definitely out of the running. The Track edition landing hard, and look at that back end. It is slipping all over the place, and yep, it just cannot maintain control, falls off the track, and that is the end of the day for the Track edition. In the meantime, the Terrible is trucking along with no trouble at all. Detective Special, a hard landing there, crosses over the center line, but is still continuing on, as is the Big Block V8. Taking a pretty solid hit there, but loses control. Ouch, lands upside down, slides off the edge, and that will be the end of the day for the Big Block V8. The Detective Special seems to be stalled out for some reason. Not quite sure what happened there, but looks like his day is done as well. That leaves the Terrible heading along and just taking all of the punishment this course has to offer. It looks like its front wheels may be a little out of sync. Oh, that is the final approach. Takes a hard hit on the back end. The finish line right there in the distance. And this vehicle is not going anywhere. I think that hit on that landing tore out the drive shaft, and that is the end of the run for the Terrible, but also for all of the Moonhawks in this competition. No one able to make it down to the finish line. So close, but no cigar. They will not continue on. For individual trials, we are going to start things off with the Track edition. As you can see, the Dragster taking off, in the distance there. However, the Track edition holding his own here in second place, or her own, its own, I don't know, whatever. So, makes the next jump there. The hood popping up and blocking the view is definitely going to be a problem, or you think it would be, but that is a hard hit. There's where it slides across, cruising by the Dragster, who falls off the track. That puts the Track edition in first place, temporarily, as the Terrible, and I couldn't quite see who else was there. They passed by, but the big problem, of course, that back end suspension completely out of whack, and the Track edition just can't maintain control with that back end just slipping to the left and right. Slides off the course. As hard as it is trying to regain some kind of composure, you can tell that the drive shaft is also smashed. It's not going anywhere. So let's check out the Drag edition, who gets an amazing lead on everyone else. We're talking pedal to the metal, just flooring it, not caring. Has a couple of wacky landings there, but then actually does a pretty good job of maintaining its landings through the air. There we go. A little bit of a spin out here, and this is where it loses control, and in the process of trying to reverse, finds itself off of the track. And that is the end of the line for the Drag edition Moonhawk here on the cliff diving competition. Man, I've really had high hopes for that Drag edition. In the meantime, we've got the Detective Special slamming on the brakes, as we have seen many vehicles in third place doing that. All right, I won't say third place, but in that third pole position. And that causes that vehicle to take a very hard landing, and that is where we see that serious lean to the right. However, it looks like that is not stopping the detective special at all. Like others that we have seen, its hood is flapped up over the windshield, but again, that is not stopping the driver from just heading on out, making the jumps, hitting the climbs. As we continue on here, the detective special actually doing a very good job. It's definitely not as fast as the other vehicles, but speed is not the key. The key in any of these cliff diving runs is honestly just get to the freaking finish line and call it good. There's a hard landing slightly to the right, crosses over that middle section, but does not get stuck in the middle as we have seen so many other vehicles do. This is the high run, or the run up to the high point, and there it is. I have no idea why the detective special in the middle of going uphill decided to slam on its brakes and reverse. I don't know what that's about, but that's certainly a poor decision on the part of the detective special. Now it's stuck with nowhere to go at all. You can see its wheels are both towed in there, and it is not going anywhere. Had it just continued, I believe the detective special could have been quite a contender in this particular competition. As it is, though, he's done for the day. Now we have the Terrible, and it gets a pretty decent start, although a little bit of a slowdown there. I think it was trying to figure out what the detective vehicle was going to do, and then decided to just forget it and head on out. As we see, it's taken the first few jumps with no problem. Finally, the hood popping up, blocking the windshield, as we've seen in the other vehicles, the other Moonhawks here in this competition, but not letting it stop at all. And as I have said, and as we have seen throughout this competition, these beater vehicles, they seem to do fairly well in these competitions. I don't know if it's because they're already beat up so they can take the punishment of these cliffs or what it is, but performing very well throughout the, well, I say very well, very few have actually finished, but they at least make it to that last approach, which I'm going to count as very well in this competition at this point. Off of the high point of the ramp, now on the downhill slide, as the Terrible, winds its way. That's a pretty rough landing, but it is continuing along, no problem at all there. A bit of a rough landing, but still maintaining. This is where it looked like that right wheel was having some trouble, but the Terrible is just pushing through and calling it good. So there we have it, as it once again just keeps on trudging toward the finish line. The final jump here, it actually clears it with no problem, but that right there, that little bit of a lip catches the back end of the Terrible and smashes the drive shaft, and that keeps the Terrible from going any closer to that finish line. Just right there in the distance. Oh, so close. And as we have seen oh so many times, this is where they just can't finish the run. And that's the end of the line for the Terrible. And finally, we're going to take a look at the Big Block V8, who gets a really good start, basically in fourth, but jumps to third relatively quickly ahead of the Terrible, cruising right along as it throws a couple of hubcaps, but taking the punishment of each of these landings in stride. That's one thing about these Moonhawks. They are big freaking boats is what they are, so they don't seem to have any trouble there. Passing over the drag down in the ditch, passing by the Track Edition, who had lost a little bit of control, and the Big Block V8 in first place at this point, and well on the way to having a great run to take the lead and hopefully hit that finish mark, which of course We already know it doesn't, but we know things go seriously awry very shortly. Taking the leap off of that giant jump there. This is the downhill approach toward the finish line, and right there, the back end slides out a little bit, overcorrects, ends up sliding off of the edge, flips upside down, and finds itself off-road, off the track, and out of the competition. That spells the end of the day for the Big Block V8 here in the Crash Hard Cliff Diving competition. That's it right there. That's the end of the day. So there you go. All right, man. Let me know your thoughts. Got questions, problems, suggestions, horror stories? Feel free to leave those down in the comment section below. Special thanks to Hero of God, GamerGull, and Mr. Spooky7 for supporting me on Patreon. You can check that out, patreon.com/davidinark. Special thanks to you for watching this video. I hope you're enjoying the series. We still have a ways to go. That was the Moonhawk, so we still have both the new and old versions of Pessimas. We got Piccolinas, Pigeons, SBRs. We got Burnsides, Sunbursts, buses, you name it. We got all kinds of stuff. We're going to do this for every vehicle, and at the end of the run, we'll take any vehicle that crossed the finish line, and they will compete against each other. Awesome stuff here on the cliff diving competition on David and Ark. Thanks for watching. We'll see you next time. Have a great day.